Guten Tag, it's me. Wie geht's denn mal, Dieter? Ich bin Dieter. Yes, Dieter, this is the video you've all been waiting for. Dieter's 2023 Guitar Buyer's Guide, just in time for Christmas. So settle down. This is actually where Dieter, who likes to say, I'm not going to do all the heavy lifting for you, has done the heavy lifting for you. One caveat here as we pour a good Canadian 5% ABV, alcohol by volume, beer into a chilled frosted glass. We have our captive. I don't want to offend anyone who identifies as an animal, so we don't have a picture of a pretty girl. You might think, oh, Dieter's a dirty old man. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. That's for me to know and you to, well, ponder. We've got Rudolph, my namesake. He doesn't have a red nose, he has a white nose, but Rudolph, you can see, he's waiting with bated anticipation for Dieter's 2023 Guitar Buyer's Guide. So, the caveat is this. I will only talk about guitars that I have personally tried or personally own. Right? So if the one you're thinking of hasn't made the cut, there's a couple of possibilities. I don't know of it, and I haven't tried it. Or I've tried it and I don't like it. For my criteria, which I will explain now, and that's why it may or may not be on Dieter's list. Because Dieter isn't about bullshit. He likes to help, and he can only help with things he actually has first-hand experience with. So, the criteria is best bang for the buck. And what he means by that is quality of workmanship, quality of materials, setup, blah, blah, blah. Playability. But basically it's workmanship, quality of build and construction, and quality of materials. That's all you really need. So here we go. And it's all based on how much money disposable income you have for your first gem or your second or third or 29th or 30th or blah, 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 blah. Anyway. So if you have over 10K, if you have over 10 grand to spend, and I'm using Canadian dollars, the prices seem to be the same pretty much now for guitars in Canada and the US. So that means us Canadians are getting better value for our dollars just because we're Canadian. Anyway. If you have over 10 grand, buy anything you friggin' want. Because for 10 grand, you should get a damn good guitar. Except if you, and I highly recommend you don't buy things over the internet unless you know it's a trusted source. So please try, the other caveat is, please try to see these guitars for yourself. So the only exception over 10K is if you order it off the internet and the IP address is somewhere in China or India. I would not do that. Personally, that's me. So, over 10K, anything you want. 6 to 10K. If you're buying a steel string acoustic, buy a Boucher. You will not go wrong. If you're buying a classical, and they make steel strings as well, in this price range, I would also look at Alhambra, which is a very fine Spanish maker, and Yamaha, which is a very fine Japanese maker. 4 to 6K, a Japanese-made Jahr. I'd look at Yamahas, Laraves, and Alhambras. And I would also put in there probably Breedlove. 2 to 4K, I would look at Breedlove, Larrivee, Yamaha, Godin, and all of Godin's lines, which are Art and Lutherie, Simon & Patrick, Seagull, and I would look at Alvarez. That's what I would look at. And I think for 2 or 4K, you'd be happy with any of those 4 or 5 brands I mentioned. For $600 to 2 grand, I would look at anything by Godin, Yamaha, and Alvarez. And there you have it. I wrote it down for you. I did all the heavy lifting. And in under 5 minutes, now you know what Dieter would buy with his hard-earned money. Because Dieter likes to help. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, please fire away. So An arch top, I would go, if you're looking at style of guitar, an arch top, I would go with a Godin Fifth Avenue, any model they make. A steel string, if you got over $6,000, get a Boucher or an Alhambra or a Yamaha. 4 to 6K, same thing, nylons and steel strings, go with a Jahr, Yamaha, Larrivee, or Alhambra. 2 to 4K, Larrivee, Yamaha, Godin. Art and Lutherie, Simon and Patrick, Seagull, Alvarez. That includes 12 fret models, cutaway models, and parlor models. 600 to two grand, Godin, Yamaha, and Alvarez. Those are the ones I have experience with. If there's a make on there that you have and it's not on my list, I either don't know about it or I tried it and it didn't measure up to these ones that I picked. Wiedersehen, happy plucking. Merry Christmas. Right? Yeah, Rudolph agrees with me.